imperative for us to end the criminal prohibition of cannabis in Massachusetts simply because it's a racist law. And I will show you that it's a racist law because in our law, it's not called cannabis at all. It's called marijuana. Why is it called marijuana? Well, it's called marijuana because a small subset of users, a small subculture of users, had used that as a term, a slang term for this substance that they used. And when it came time to prohibit cannabis, they couldn't call it cannabis because it did never get the public support necessary because people were using cannabis to get it in tincture from their doctor. They knew that cannabis was the source of hemp. They saw it as a relatively benign substance. In fact, the U.S. Pharmacopoeia listed cannabis from the 1840s up until 1940s, for 100 years. It was available and it was prescribed. It was used by people. In order to prohibit cannabis, they had to make it seem foreign and they had to attach it to racial minorities. So what we see is the latching on to this term marijuana to depict this substance as something foreign and dangerous and to really play off of the xenophobia and racism that was still is so much of our culture.
Steve earlier pointed out this chart showing that 62%, it's actually 63.2% of Massachusetts voters have voted to support decriminalization of marijuana just like this bill speaks of it. And I want to point out that this is not like your normal statistics. You guys probably see a lot of statistics like these. But this is not polling. This is not some expensive polling company, not a cheap polling company. This is the very best public opinion measure you could ever have. This is the measure of people actually going into their voting booths and voting alone, without anybody else knowing what they're saying.
I'm HIV positive, symptom-free, and they don't suspect that I will be symptomatic in the future. They call me what's called an elite controller. An elite controller is someone that has HIV, but for some reason, their immune system, their blood, is not reacting like other people that have HIV. Now, I don't have an explanation for it. They don't have an explanation for it. I can only attribute it to possibly my lifestyle. I smoke pot, like I said, all of my life. I'm 57 years old. I have a job to plan myself to be here. I'm like one of those people that Steve mentioned. I have to be very careful no matter where I go, especially outside of Roxbury. And why I say that is because I live in the suburbs, and for me, I just think that, you know, the local yokels are looking for me over for whatever reason. I'm black. I'm in their community. They don't know whether I live here or not, but I'm black.
This letter, God Created Marijuana, I've been handing out to churches all over Boston and all over New England, and as far as I can go, on 2-3 our bus. This letter basically states it's a debate I'm looking to have with President Bush and Congress on marijuana legislation. Basically, in hypocrisy. That, you know, liquor, guns, these things are all legal. Marijuana has not been known to kill a soul. Hypocrisy. And, you know, this is for you to read because I know it's been a long day and it's a long track. But I think it's a very powerful one. And the more people I show this to, they all agree. And it's time to make a change here. The letter to Governor Patrick, if I will read this one. I write to you hoping that you will take a careful, open-minded look at Senate Bill 1121 and act to revoke the current marijuana laws in Massachusetts. I own Boston Live Magazine, a publication for live music in the New England region, and Boston Live Charity Fund Incorporated, a charity to give inner-city youth and schools funds and music equipment. We met at the celebration of the African Meeting House where we took a picture together. Since you are a former defense attorney, I'm sure that you are aware of the disproportionate numbers of African American and Latinos currently in jail for minor offenses involving marijuana. This unfair treatment of many people, mostly of color, is unproductive for our society and does more destruction than good. We should be protecting the rights of these individuals, not imprisoning them with mandatory and even life sentences. For years, marijuana was thought to be, quote, evil, unquote, and of no use to human beings. However, after decades of repression and untruth, we are finally seeing the scientific evidence that marijuana has major medical benefits from disease, from cancer to muscular syndromes and more. We need further research, and with your help, we will get it. We are supposed to lead the country in moral aptitude and the causes for freedom, as our forefathers did. The United States has legalized liquor, guns, and tobacco, all of which kill. However, marijuana has not been known to kill even one person by their use of it. It is time that we stop acting as hypocrites at the expense of our brothers and sisters. Many people have suffered under laws now claimed to be a, quote, drug war, end quote, which, however, are really a mask for racism and hypocrisy. Our Constitution was established to protect the liberties of each citizen, and you as governor have the obligation to uphold this purpose. I have heard you say that you'd like to look at each issue thoroughly before making a sound decision, and I am sure that once you look at the history of marijuana prohibition and the laws regarding the use, and after you listen to the people of the Commonwealth, you will agree that repealing of the current state marijuana laws is a wise and prudent move.
Thank you very much.
And I would like to add one last thing, that I am the son of Reverend Dr. James Breeden, who fought tirelessly for civil rights in the 60s and 70s. So, thank you.
Sitting there, you're watching this on the web, you probably got a joint or a bowl right next to you, and what we need, there's going to be 3 more hearings, 1 on Decrim and 2 on medical. We need you down here. Come and testify if you live in Massachusetts.
But take the train because parking is expensive.
Or you could stay at my house.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it, and it goes down smooth. Hey!